Hello everyone, this is your boy Jay, aka Herc420 on Instagram TV and Herc213 on YouTube, and I am back with another video for you guys today. And for this video also, I really want to do a media reading on, about the climate change, endangering the sacred land, endangering the sacred land basically. There's an article I've read just to make it clear about for you guys. I was about to mention there was an article I read today about climate changes are really affecting the indigenous and Native American lands like around the West Coast, and just like with this article I read, I really felt something from my whole core of my body, just reading it and just reading the article, and just like this article is really tied into this person named Gail. She's really part of her name is Gail something. Her name is Gail. She's really part of a tribe, part river tribe too, in the West Coast, part, and just like with this article too, and just reading the story about it, how the climate change is really affecting their indigenous lands, uh, indigenous land, her land especially. I think it's the Pitt River land too, the River tribe that she's part of. I'm thinking about it. It's just really hit home for me too. Just feeling around my whole energetic and physical field, because I'm part Native American Chickasaw, heritage, where my grandpa just really shared with me too before he passed, and I just really felt that too, and sense that the dangerous how climate change is really affecting the indigenous areas too, and especially like in the West Coast, like in Oregon, and especially like in Southern California. And I'm just gonna make a disclaimer. I really gotta do my research when it comes to indigenous areas too. I don't know most of the tribes too, but I know part of my heritage too is Chickasaw Indian. Because that's where my mom's side is too. And just like with me too, I just really like to know what I'm talking about. And but I really like to share. I like to share actually when I'm just really know what I'm talking about. But I definitely will link to the description of the article. Link the article in the description of this video so you guys can really check it out too. And I'm just really want to throw a few cards, really tap into the energy as why the climate change is really affecting indigenous areas, in the West Coast, especially in Oregon and especially in Southern California, where it's just like, it's just really affecting people's lives, and most people aren't helping out, and so on and so forth. It's really powerful stuff that I'm sensing. A lot of anxiousness too, and I just really want to tap into this energy and see why that is, and also connect with Metatron too. Pull another card, see what we could take lessons that we could learn from this too, and really just make some beautiful change in our lives as well, to really support our land and especially the earth. So I'm gonna get started. A lot of sensitive energy here. Hmm. Okay, I've just pulled 4 cards from my tarot deck, and I'm gonna pull one card that we could, spiritual message that we could take with Metatron too. So just to really fill this out. So let me see if I could pull these oracle cards. Shuffle this deck. What can we do to find a mindful solution for this Metatron? Okay, so I pulled 5 cards total, 4 from my tarot deck and 1 from my oracle deck, and really just tune into the energy of what's going on with this, related to this article I shared earlier about the climate change and affecting the indigenous lands in the West Coast, and see what we could find some answers and from it as well. And the first card I drew was the Hangman, just really sensing the theme of it. It's just like, the Hangman. This is really all about having a different perspective of things too. It's like seeing a person hanging upside down, and just like with the Hangman, I sense that it's probably people are having a different perspective about what's going on in the climate too. Just like having different ideas and just looking at things from a different perspective. I feel like with the theme of this, the Hangman, it's just like I get a sense of it's just how can I put this in words? People have looking at this in a different perspective too. Just really, um, figuring out why this is happening too. Just the climate change affecting certain tribes around the West Coast too, and especially with climate change, it's really, I say powerful, but really powerful stuff. I'm just really sensing it from that. And the next card I pulled is the Knight of Cups. And I just get a feel like this as the sensitivity of the indigenous people too who live in this land as well, who just who really cherish their land. It's just like the Knight of Cups. I get a sense of this sensitivity. It's going back to the moon too. It's really connected to water, and you see the water obviously in the bottom. The person in the boat. It's just like it's a lot of sensitive energy here too. It's just like they really do appreciate their land, and they're just like going back to the hangman. They're just wondering why this is happening too. It's just having a different perspective about it. And just like with the Knight of Cups, it's just like they really just are taking it heart to it. What is happening in their land too. It's really different powerful stuff. I'm seeing like powerful stuff is just like there's a whole lot of things going on. And with this, let's say this before I go on. My readings are for educational and entertainment purposes only. So just to let you guys know, I'm just really feeling the energy of it. And with life, things could change so quickly. But I just really want to disclose that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. The third card I have too is the King of Cups, and I just gonna feel like I feel like with the indigenous people too, they really are intellectual people. They're very smart, very sharp, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to really cherish their land as well. Like even just like with it can be more than the indigenous people. They could be like other people trying to take it to like intellectuals. There's like an intellectual energy of the King of Cups. It just feels like there was one side there's indigenous people who really are just they're all about when it comes to their heritage, their culture, and they're just really intellectual and sharp people. And just like anything else too, it's just like this also can be like with like intellectual people and certain governments as well, and trying to take their land and all that stuff too. And there's history about that too when it comes to in America too, which I won't gonna disclaim to make anything feel heavy. And it just feels like the King of Cups. It's like intellectual energy of especially the indigenous and the people in the tribes and their culture, Native American cultures. They're intellectual people, very smart, very sharp. They're willing to do whatever it takes to protect their land as well. And just really sharp people. Going back to this with the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups, just like with sensitivity and intellectual, with these two cards together, it feels like there's a lot of sensitivity and really intellectual energy here too. It's just like even with connected with this article, I feel like especially with Gail too, she's a very sensitive person, but also very intellectual because she's really all about with her culture and where she's coming from. She's passionate about that, and she's not letting up, and she's definitely trying to fight this climate change too, and really figuring out why this is happening too. The Hangman having a different perspective of things, and also with the last card I pulled up too, and this really makes sense of it. I got the Page of Swords. So this one's, let's see, so I'm just feeling like the Page of Swords, it feels like the people or climate change that's affecting the people's land in that area is just like they're fighting. They're not giving up without a fight. They really are trying to really protect their land any way they can too, especially with the Page of Swords. It feels like a fighter energy too. And just like the Page of Swords, this is really all about just like fighting for their rights, for their land, really trying to fight that climate change. Even though it's tough right now, but they really are trying to do that with the Page of Swords. And especially with the Page of Swords, really interesting. Just look at it and sense it. it just feels like, with the energy of the indigenous people, and just related to this article, I should say, it's just like it feels like the people in that land, in those lands, especially in the West Coast, so like in Oregon and Seattle, Washington, especially in California, they really get they really are protecting their land, and they're not giving up. With the Page of Swords, and that's what I'm really sensing of too, because I feel it around my body, especially my shoulders, my back, and just like especially my shoulders too. It's like I really want to just like it's like a protective energy. It's not anxious, but anxious protective energy. Like that's how I feel like with the Page of Swords too. So that's what the first card I share in the sentence from this article as well. And even speaking with Metatron too, I just first connected with his energy, and he pulled out, helped me pull out a beautiful card that we could all take with us too, to really integrate in our lives too, especially if we are, Native American, or part of the culture too, the Native American ancestry too, which is beautiful as well. Yeah, because I am as well. And just like the card I pulled up too is the Tree of Life. This just really means to travel on. Just like to travel on, and just like the Tree of Life, it's just like we're all interconnected, and just like to travel on is to really continue to be on your path too, and really just to find your purpose. And especially the lessons we could take is to really travel on in life, but also being our purpose too, because things are really interconnected in the Tree of Life. Things happen for a reason, but what we could take from this, to travel on, is just to really is how does it say, is to really travel on as well. And I say, like, I'm saying this because to because it's a card, obviously, and just like the travel on, it's just like really continuing to be on our path, being on our purpose too, and really just whatever purpose that may be, whether it's to protect our land, and to really do something beautiful to our world, to life, having a beautiful impact on life, to really connect with that energy, traveling on. Not saying like say moving on, just like forget about it. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just like the travel on is to really, continue to be on your path too, especially. Just to really continue to be on that path, and because everything is interconnected. The Tree of Life is just is to really be on that purpose, and as the words just keep popping in my head over and over again. Just like even if that purpose is to really protecting our planet, the sacred lands that we are from, is to really connect with that purpose, to really travel on, to not giving up, to just say, find ways to really combat and say resolve these climate change issues. Start planting trees, planting flowers, the water, everything, etc. Even though it's like most stuff is out of our hands, but what we could take from this lesson too is to really travel on in life, and really continue to be on our continue being on our path and purpose, and to really just be connected to that Tree of Life. And so hopefully this message from Metatron and me really makes sense to all you guys too, and especially all the cards I shared with you earlier. And I thank you guys for really watching this video, and really just listening to me doing the readings and all that stuff, especially powerful ones as this one. And as I said before too, I definitely will link the article in the description of this video, so you guys can really watch the short on Instagram TV and the full video on YouTube. And maybe we could continue to creatively grow in our own lifestyles that not only benefit us as human beings, but our loved ones and our environment. Many blessings to you guys, and happy Friday. Hope you guys stay safe and well out there. Namaste.